so cool, Brewster.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
You lied and I died!
I feel a rosy air.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
How's it hanging, Phil?
What's the prime time, bitch?
Come and get it! So either put the gun down now, or kiss your ass goodbye.
Let's get this party started.
I agree, Dana. Let's get this party started. So, welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror live at Ghoulie-Con. So, how's it going, everybody?
We have an audience today,
We
guys.
have an audience
for the very
today. This
first
is the
time.
first time we've ever done this. And I want to say this has been such a blast here at Ghoulie-Con this weekend. We've had some amazing drag shows. We've had some amazing live shows that have been going on. And tomorrow we will be premiering our video of live at Ghoulie-Con so that way you guys can see what happened this amazing weekend. But do you want to tell everybody what we're playing today?
So we are playing Desperate Measures for the first time in front of an audience, and we're super excited. We have the whole entire cast here. We have Michelle here, and we can't wait for everybody to see it.
It's going to be so much fun. So right now we are about to do horror or not. And what we're going to do in the chat, we're going to have a poll on yes or no, whether you think it's horror. And here we are going to go by applause and cheers on if you think this movie is horror or not. We got Sean in the chat. We got Ryan. We got Anthony. We got Adrian. Hello, everybody. We are so glad that you are here. So let's get on to our first movie on if this movie is horror or not. And that movie is Prisoners
from 2013.
Yes, so this film stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, Paul Dano, David Dastmalchian. One of my personal favorite actors of all time is in this movie, Terrence Howard. And this movie is the abduction of two girls in Pennsylvania and the subsequent search for them by the police and by their parents. So in this movie, like we said, Keller, which is Hugh Jackman, does not let the police do their job, essentially. And when his 6-year-old daughter and her friend go missing, he goes out trying to find these girls, ignoring Jake Gyllenhaal, who is the detective. And he goes to the most, you want to talk about desperate measures?
Yeah.
He goes
do you blame
to
him?
the farthest lengths to try to find out where his little girls are. So I want to know if everybody thinks this is horror or not. And so far, 100% of the chat says no.
It's not horror?
This is not a horror
Really?
movie. Hold on. But I want to get, so if we think this is a horror movie in the crowd, first, is it a horror movie? Let me hear you.
No.
A resounding
Nothing. We got it.
no.
0. I feel like it's like real life horror.
So if
like,
you
this
don't
is like
think this is a
Lifetime.
horror movie, let me hear you.
Okay.
So we are at 100% of the chat, and 100% of the people say no, and Ashley and I 100% disagree.
I totally do.
I am going to say yes.
This movie had
is
my
a
anxiety
horror
going
movie.
so badly, like him trying to find the girls, him beating up
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano. Like it, I don't know. It's like real life horror. This is like a Lifetime movie, but it's like still horror to me.
This is classified online as a thriller/crime drama.
Yeah.
So you could say, yes, this is a thriller. I've always said that when a movie is like this, they are going to classify it as thriller, just like Silence of the Lambs, because horror is still that niche taboo thing, so they're not going to put it as horror. But as a parent, what he goes through to try to find his kids, and not only what he goes through, what the whole town is going through, and the horror elements of anxiety, the horror elements of dread.
The ending when he's like, what?
Don't say what happens at the end.
It happened in 2013. Okay.
We'll talk about the
come
end.
on. It's literally like he gets drugged and he's trying to drive her to the hospital and like he can barely see and it's raining. Like that had my anxiety going. I'm just saying.
I was very anxious throughout this whole movie. This is one of those movies that, to me, oh, hey, we finally got a yes. Yay!
All right.
Somebody agrees with us. This is another one of those movies too that I feel like, as I'm watching it, I felt the same way I felt watching The Strangers. You know, it's just this infinite amount of dread
Yes.
and anxiety,
Yeah.
and there's nothing to break the tension or break the anxiety. And that to me is when I'm most scared. I don't need jump scares. I don't need a bunch of blood and guts. But when I'm sitting in my seat and I feel so anxious and so scared and so terrified that I don't know what's going to happen next, that to me is when I really feel like I'm watching a horror movie. So for me, this is a resounding no
Yeah,
from the crowd,
horror is
from
what
the
you
panel.
make it,
Yep.
and-
There's really no right or wrong answers here because we're right this time. So I'm honestly shocked, and I love it. I love the fact that I'm so shocked by this. So we are going to go to our next movie. I'm getting it set up here in the chat. This is another one for me that was really hard, but we'll get to that in a second. The next movie is Robocop. So you have a futuristic police officer.
It's like the newfound Frankenstein. Like,
It is. It is a new wave style Frankenstein movie where they bring him back to life. And how far is the AI gonna go? You know, just like the monster that's coming after him. I can't remember the thing that falls down the stairs and it's hilarious. I can't remember that thing's name. But Clarence Bodinger is also a very good villain in this movie. You know
Yeah.
him as Red Foreman from that 70s show. He's also a great villain in this movie. So I really think that, is Robocop a horror movie to me? First, let's check the chat. We have 50-50 in the chat right now.
Okay.
So 50-50 in the chat saying Robocop, yes,
let's ask
is
our-
a horror movie. Now let's ask the audience here. Applause for yes, is Robocop a horror movie?
we got one.
We got two.
Two.
Okay, is Robocop not a horror movie?
Okay.
We have another no here. So I actually am going to agree that no. I don't think
it's
Robocop.
horror adjacent.
I do
believe
think it's
they
horror
kill
adjacent.
a guy to make their prototype. Like, that has horror aspects for sure.
I think that it is more of a sci-fi action. Now, sci-fi horror is absolutely a real thing. I think that sci-fi. You have Alien, which is one of the best sci-fi horror movies of all time. You have The Thing, which I think is probably the best horror movie of all time, which is a sci-fi horror movie. But with Robocop, I just don't feel like the horror elements are there enough. The guy that gets dumped in the atomic waste,
Yeah.
and he comes out and he's all fish-like that shit scared me as a kid. Like, that dude haunted me, like with his crab hands.
Or when the creeps are like chasing that guy, the girl, and are
Your
like
move,
trying
creep.
to like, yeah.
Yeah. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Yes, I could quote this movie probably front to back because it does take place in Detroit, and Detroit looks much better now, by the way, than it does in Robocop. I want to throw that out there.
Every movie that's filmed in Detroit looks
Every movie
not
that's filmed
so
in Detroit
great.
is filmed in the same 3-mile
Yeah,
block radius
they're
of
like-
garbage Detroit. So everybody's like, oh, Detroit sucks. I'm like, please come to my home. You will love it, and it's beautiful. But yes, Robocop to me, while it is a great movie, I think that it's horror adjacent. It has horror moments. Is it a full-out horror movie? No, in my opinion. But the chat disagrees. 67% of the chat says, yes, Robocop is a horror movie, and I absolutely love that.
Okay.
We got Robocop is more like an action, in my opinion. I really don't think it's horror. Terminator 1 could be considered a horror movie, though. Okay, we may talk about that movie pretty soon. All right, so we're going to our next film.
Seven.
Oh, yes, 7. So, 7, as we all know, Brad Pitt. It's become more of a meme now than anything. You know,
Yes.
yes. What's in the box? What is in the fucking box, man?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know what's in that box,
You do
though.
not.
So we're going to load it up to the chat right now. Is 7 a horror movie? And let's get with the crowd as well. So I do want to say that Robocop did end the chat with 69% yes, 30% no, which
Okay,
I am
what-
shocked on, but I do love very much. So 7, When retiring police detective William Somerset Morgan Freeman tackles the final case with the aid of newly transferred David Mills, Brad Pitt, they discover a number of elaborate and grisly murders. They soon realize they are dealing with a serial killer who is targeting people he thinks represent one of the 7 deadly sins. So here in the crowd, yes, is 7 a horror movie? Okay.
I would have to agree. I think it absolutely is.
Ashley agrees with you guys. And the chat as of right now is 60-40. I'm shocked that it's that close. I think 7 is absolutely a horror movie. This to me is just like Silence of the Lambs meets Saw.
Yeah.
And I think that it has the best elements of both of those films. And I think this may be the only movie on our list today that is classified as crime/horror. So it does have the horror tag to go along with it. Mm-hmm. And another thing about this movie is the suspense of who is the guy? Who is our killer? You know, the 7 deadly sins could really go to anybody.
And the poor guy that was like left to starve to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they call it? The
sloth?
And
he's still alive.
That's so
when he does that jump, and you're just like, oh shit! Like that's one of those moments that. And another movie. This is an over 2-hour movie, and when I think of 2-hour-long horror movies, most of the time I'm not interested. When I watch a horror movie, give me 70 to 90 minutes. Give me a brisk pace. Scare the shit out of me, and let's go home.
When it's like a crime and we're unfolding stuff,
right.
I feel like that 2 hours is good.
So Ashley and I agree. We think this is horror. The crowd here agrees. They think it's horror.
Final?
And right now on the chat, 56 no, 44% yes. Wow.
Okay.
Wow, I love that. I think that is amazing. And for those of you that are here, if you want to join the chat and vote, go to YouTube, go to Sledgehammer Horror. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because as you've seen here, we have kids. And what they don't tell you is those things are expensive. And they want to buy stuff and they want to eat and like get shoes for school and shit. So make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're at it. And if you guys couldn't make it here today and you're joining the chat a little late, we are going to have a video tomorrow. We had an amazing drag show today, you guys. And it was phenomenal. My daughters were loving it. They were throwing the dollar bills up in the air. It was incredible. And if you've never been to a drag show, do yourself. This was my first one, and holy shit, it is art. It is art, and you guys will love it. And the passion that comes along with it is absolutely incredible. We are so proud to have been here and been a part of everything that's happened at Ghoulie-Con this weekend. I can't stress enough how awesome this show has been. Mm-hmm. And for such a little show that was put on by creators, for creators, this has been such an amazing time. Mm-hmm. So we are now going to go, 7 jumped up to yes.
Oh.
Okay. What's up, Terry?
58%.
I see you, Terry. Back it up, Terry. All right,
so
what's our next movie, Mom?
Longlegs. This might be the newest one.
I think this is the newest one on our list. And this is another one that when it came out, it got the whole, yes, it's horror. No, it's not horror. And this is one for me that I thought was pretty obvious from the beginning of if it was or not. But this is not about Ashley and I. This is classified as horror crime as well. So it does have the classification of horror. But we want to know, hello from us final girls in the audience. Hello, Kelly. Thank you so much. I saw Paige was in there as well. So, yeah, thank you guys. Everybody that's here, everybody that's in the chat, thank you. This is Ashley and I's passion, and we love doing this. We love being here with you guys.
Me
so,
too.
Longlegs, FBI agent Lee Harker is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. So, as of right now, we are at 100% yes in the chat. Now let's go out to the audience. Yes, is Longlegs a horror? Okay. Is Longlegs not a horror movie? We are at a resounding 100% in the audience as well.
I agree. I think it's horror, absolutely. The atmosphere, everything about this movie creeps me out.
I am a Maika Monroe stan.
Yeah.
I love Maika Monroe. I think what she did in this movie is incredible. I love Nicolas Cage. I don't love this movie. I'm not a fan of Longlegs, and it's one of those movies that I want to like so bad. And it's one of the few times.
It was one of the movies that we had so like high on our list,
Like
and like we
expectations,
couldn't wait.
yeah.
Yes, our expectations were high, and I don't know that they ever could have possibly met that expectation.
And it had everything that it had Osgood Perkins, had Maika Monroe, it had Nicolas Cage, it had the atmosphere, it had the cinematography, but I just could not like it. I wanted to. Every time I tried to watch this movie, I was like, this is going to be the time. And this is one of the few times we talk about Jaws, and I say, you don't see Bruce the Shark that much, and that's a good thing because it heightens the anxiety, it heightens the fear for when we finally do get our shot of Bruce the Shark. This is one of those movies where I could have used way more Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I could have used way more Nicolas Cage. When you get him as Longlegs and you get the unhinged performance, you're like, that was so worth the wait, but it wasn't long enough. I didn't get him for enough time. And everybody in the chat that's talking to each other, thank you. Continue to converse with each other. This is also shocking to me. When you look at the reviews of this movie, it has more 1 stars than it does 5. And that is genuinely shocking to me.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, was it made for Ashley and I? No, we weren't fans of it. But it's a great movie. It's a very good, very well-made movie that we just couldn't get into. So that really does shock me a little bit. But that ends at 93%. Yes,
Okay.
It is a horror movie. So let's go to the next movie. What do we have next, love?
The Goonies.
The Goonies. We are going to the Goonies now. So we are going to start with the audience here. Is the Goonies a horror movie? Now, usually I read what happens in these movies, but I'm pretty sure we all know what happens in the Goonies. We get some truffle shuffle, we get some slick shoes. If you watch the TV version, you get to see a giant octopus or a giant squid attacking our kids, which I never knew wasn't in the movie because I had only seen the made-for-TV one. I had never seen, or the TV edited one. I had never seen the official one, and then I watched it. I was like, where the hell's the squid?
Yeah.
They even talk about it at the end. Like, we fought a squid, and you're like, but where? So we are releasing it right now to the chat. Now to the crowd. Yes, do we think The Goonies is a horror movie? No, is Goonies not a horror movie? Another resounding
100%.
no.
100% on here,
100%.
too.
Goonies never say die. That is right, Paige. The Goonies never say die. This one is another one that was genuinely hard for me.
I feel like
Because
this is another gateway.
Yes.
This is something that you watch as a kid, and this kind of like
It's
pushes
definitely-
you into loving horror.
it's more of a coming of age film.
Yeah.
And I will agree with that. It's classified as family and adventure, but there was so much darkness. Like, we did a scary moments from non-horror movies, and
Yeah.
Ashley's moment was when you
he's-
have
when you see
Chunk,
him in the
and he runs up, he's like, you know these
rearview mirror?
nasty people, the Fratellis?
Fratellis.
And then they turn the light on, and you see
Yeah,
the
that's-
Fratelli boy
when
there.
I was a kid, scared the shit out of me. Like seeing him, like you're talking to him, dude, run.
Yeah, like get out of there, kid. And then you got the mom from Throw Mama from the Train, who was
Mm-hmm.
just absolutely terrifying in this movie. So is The Goonies a horror movie? I think I am apt to agree with all of you. No.
Yeah.
It is not a horror movie. But could this be a good gateway to introduce a young child into horror? Now, probably not. They're going to watch this and go, this is not scary at all. When we were young,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I said, the scene on the boat, the scene when they're trying to get away from the Fratellis, you find out they killed a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was terrifying to me as a kid. So it had those scary moments. But overall, is it a horror movie? No. And 92% of the chat agrees. 100% of the crowd agrees.
Yes.
This is not a horror movie. So I agree with you guys. Did you say yes or no, Mom?
No, I don't think it's horror.
Okay. So, no. Everybody says no. This
Well,
isn't a horror
mostly.
movie.
Our next movie
This one is going to be controversial, and
Yeah.
I'm so here for this one.
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. Is Stand By Me a horror movie? And oh, I'm so excited to talk about this one because I love this movie so much. So, for those that haven't seen Stand By Me, go go watch it if you haven't seen it tonight, right now.
This is another like nostalgic, like
Yeah.
coming of age type of movie.
I wish I was Chris Chambers, but in truth, I'm more like Vern, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
After learning that a stranger has been accidentally killed near their rural homes, 4 Oregon boys decide to go see their body. On the way, Gordy, Vern, Chris, and Teddy encounter a mean junk man and a marsh full of leeches, as they also learn more about one another and their very difficult home lives. So, again, I'm ready to talk about this movie. Is Stand By Me a horror movie? So we're going to go with the crowd first. Is Stand By Me a horror movie? Yes or no? So yes first.
Clap,
yes. Is it a horror movie? Yes. You are all so grounded. Is it not a horror movie?
Okay.
It is classified as adventure thriller.
Yeah.
This movie scared me more than most horror movies did growing up. I had this irrational fear of Ace.
He's a
that
villain.
he was going to come
I think
and
he's a
kill me
villain.
in my sleep.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland is... And let's just, for 1 second, whether it's a horror movie or whether it's not a horror movie, can we just get 1 second, even with a round of applause, for how fucking great this cast is?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, you guys. When I'm telling you, when I was a kid, I wanted to be River Phoenix. Like, I wanted to be Chris Chambers as a kid. You know, I would even say, like, Chris Chambers never misses, even when he leaves the toilet seat down. You know, like, I thought that was amazing. And how scared I was when he pulled the leech off his wiener. Oh, my God. Holy crap. Or Chopper, sick balls. Like, these things haunted my dreams. And when you get that scene...
Of it, like, them finally getting
when they
to
finally find the kid,
dead kid.
and they pull the things off him. And he says it, you know, the kid wasn't asleep. The kid wasn't sick.
Yeah.
The kid was dead. You know, like, oh my God, emo goosebumps for all of you out there. Me personally, yes. To me, Stand By Me is a horror film.
I would agree. It scared the shit out of me.
This had every element to me, and especially being a young boy watching this movie and watching my peers go out. And I also learned that the fat kid from Stand By Me became one of the sexiest men alive. Jerry O'Connell, holy shit. Kangaroo Jack, yes, sir. And every kid in this movie, and unfortunately a lot of them went through some of the worst things possible in their lives. And we, you know, the tragic story of River Phoenix, and we've all, you know, Corey Feldman and the sad and disgusting things that happened to him. And I'm sure Will Wheaton went through it too. I'm sure Jerry O'Connell went through it too. But there's so many things about this movie that the puking scene, you know, I wanted to feed someone castor oil as a kid to see if this would really happen. Yeah, and that's where my brain goes. You're welcome. Enjoy your drinks tonight, guys. But to me, yes, I'm going to say yes. Stand By Me is a horror film. And just on the scene alone, there's not, even the things that aren't truly, truly horror, when they find out that Vern was under this porch. You know, he's like, Vern, you little shit, you were looking for pennies, weren't you? And Vern gets scared and goes behind his friends. Like, as a kid, as a young boy, I had bullies like that I was terrified of. So this movie amplified those feelings for me as a kid. So Ace was such an awful character.
He was a villain in my book.
And yes, rest in peace, River Phoenix. Like
Yes.
I said, I look at River Phoenix the same way that I look at Heather O'Rourke, and it's a light that burned out long before it should have. A light that was snuffed out way long before it should have. And thank you, Kelly, them running from the train. When you have him get down and feel it, and he gets up to do the slow motion train, and you see Vern just kicking his little, oh my God, yes. Whether it's horror or not, we should all watch this later.
I know. I love this movie.
Like, whether it's considered horror or not, this movie is absolutely brilliant. But 88% of the chat also says, no, this is not a horror movie. So.
Okay.
All right.
Our next movie is Return to Oz. This might be
Return
the most
to
frightening
Oz.
Disney movie there is.
So for those of you that haven't seen Return to Oz, the wheelies, holy shit.
The wheelies and like the beheaded ladies in the jar.
So we'll read the synopsis. Dorothy discovers she is back in the land of Oz and finds the yellow brick road is now a pile of rubble and the Emerald City is in ruins. Discovering that the magical land is now under the control of an evil empire, she sets off to rescue the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion with the help of her new friends. So just by audience, have you seen this movie? Yes. So everybody has, we got a couple of no's out here that have not seen Return to Oz. Return to Oz is classified as family fantasy. Holy shit, this is not a family movie. The only fantasy I had during this is that it would be shut off and I wouldn't be scared anymore. So let's go by crowd first. Do you guys think Return to Oz is horror? Let's go with a yes. Okay. Is Return to Oz not a horror movie? Okay, we got a lot more no's. I will also say that Vicky Valancourt is in this movie as Dorothy. Mm-hmm. If you guys have seen The Waterboy, there's no way I'll ever... Fairuza Balk, I think that's how you say it. If you ever watch this, I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I know you do that in The Waterboy.
Like, thanks for fucking my name up.
Yeah. So Return to Oz, I'm going to say yes. A lot of this movie is, if it's not straight up horror, yes, Fairuza Balk is in this one. How do we clap if we haven't seen the movie? That's a very good question. I think of this one like I think of, what is the other scary Disney movie about the woods? I can't remember the name of the movie. But
about the woods?
Yeah. I'm going to find it real quick. What was it? Watcher in the Woods. Yes. That movie is how I also think of this movie. It is, especially when you're a kid and you're watching Return to Oz for the first time, I was genuinely terrified of the wheelies.
Just like their shape. They're so like weird shaped in the way they
This movie is The Labyrinth on drugs.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. It's scary. I still think to this day, I'm going to say yes. Return to Oz is a horror movie. And the scene with the head, where they take off the head. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, I do absolutely believe this is a horror movie. Where is the poll? And we got 79% saying no, and we know that a resounding amount of people here say no as well. So I love it.
73%.
Or 73% no.
Yes. So.
Yes, I cannot recommend this movie enough. This movie is it's I think it was 85. It said, and it is. It's a very different feeling than The Wizard of Oz. And even The Wizard of Oz, I would say, is horror adjacent. Mm-hmm. You know, like the scene with the scarecrow getting lit on fire and those monkeys. Like, those monkeys scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. So I would say that even that is horror adjacent. But this movie, this is just straight up horror. Ashley, you're in the chat. Our daughters are out there with Ashley's phone. Hi, Kenley. She wanted us to say hi. We only got a couple movies left. This one's
a hard one.
No, it's not.
I mean, like this is a deep cut, and that is Flowers in the Attic.
Flowers in the Attic. So for those of you that have not seen Flowers in the Attic, and I know that they just recently did a remake. We are not talking about the new remake that they just did. We have not seen that one. It was 2014. It looks like it says on here. We're talking about the original one, 1987, based on the book. And this movie is classified as psychological drama, is how it's classified here.
It's psychological.
There are secrets Chris and Kathy, who is Christy Swanson, never knew about their parents. After their father dies and teenage siblings, along with their younger brother and sister, are sent to live with their cruel grandmother, Olivia is disgusted by the children.
Wait, hold on. They knew about their parents? Well, at least
no,
their
there
mother.
are secrets that they never knew about their parents.
I thought you said never knew about
No,
their
there's
parents.
secrets they never knew about their parents. She knows their mother and father were actually cousins. So she locks the brood in the attic. The kids try to keep their spirits high in spite of their bleak situation. So if you haven't seen Flowers in the Attic, this is another movie that I would strongly recommend you check out.
Yeah.
Very strongly recommend that you check out. So let's start with the chat.
Did they play this movie on like Lifetime?
Yeah, it was like a
or something?
Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
So this one's very divisive in the chat. We're at 60-40 right now in the chat, which is very, very close. Audience, Flowers in the Attic. Yes, it is a horror movie. Okay. Flowers in the Attic, no, it is not a horror movie. It's pretty split up there. I think we got a little bit more yes, and I think some of you are just trying to troll me. But
They're just clapping.
right, this movie. I think another reason why this movie scared me so much is the younger brother in this movie looked like me. I know you can't tell now because of my dashing good looks, but as a kid I had a curly blonde mullet and was very pale. And this
Were you
kid,
locked in the
I
attic and
was,
starved to death and poisoned?
and I loved sugar cookies, so that scene really took me out.
That's
but-
why you don't like sugar cookies anymore?
Yep, that's why I will not do it. Okay, Flowers in the Attic has gone up to 64% yes. So awesome. I agree. And now that I'm looking here, it also says Flowers in the Attic is considered horror mystery.
I agree. I think it's horror for sure.
This is another one of those movies that it just, even the cover of this movie just looks so terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's heartbreaking, it's sad, it's real life horror. There's so many real life scary things that happen. The score, good call, very terrifying score
Their
throughout
mother
this movie.
sucks. They had a
Oh, their
bad
mom sucks. Like, she's really bad.
Yeah.
So this one ends on yes. So we're going to do one more movie, guys.
All right, let's make it a good one.
Let's make it a good one. Hey, just for fun, there's one that I want to hear.
Hold
You
on,
pick. Which
I
one?
want to do this one.
Yep. Okay, that's the one we'll do because that's
Okay.
a perfect one. But before they do that, we're not going to do these next ones as polls. We're just going to do like a quick shot of them.
Okay, so
First off,
E.T.
E.T. Yes, E.T. is a horror movie. No, E.T. is not a horror movie.
Okay. Do you think it's a horror movie?
No, I don't.
Oh, I
think
was
the
like-
opening is horrific. And I think the end
And
when he's
when-
all pale and shit,
Yeah,
and Drew
that-
Barrymore is like,
When they're like taking over the house, that's kind of creepy.
yeah, that one to me is like,
I dressed up like Elliot and
She
rode
did.
the little bike.
okay, now this one better get a resounding yes, because if this one does not get a resounding yes, I am going to be very upset. And this one does have a remake coming out.
This has
and
one of the
if,
scariest moments in it.
If I'm correct, Maika Monroe is starring in the upcoming remake of this movie, and I think that she will do an amazing job. I just want to fact check myself to make sure I'm not lying to all you good people, because like I've said before, there was one time in the 90s I was wrong, and it definitely could happen again. But this is in development with Maika Monroe and Mary Elizabeth Winstead as the leads for this movie. Holy shit,
I'll
I'm
be
already
seated.
sad.
Yeah.
And that is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Now, can you imagine The Hand That Rocks the Cradle with Maika Monroe and Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the lead roles? Holy shit. Wow. I am even more excited now. So for those of you that haven't seen The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, a little bit about this movie. It also has, in the original film, great cast in the original film, but it has Ernie Hudson in that movie. Mm-hmm. And Ernie Hudson is my Ghostbuster, okay? Like that is my guy. But when she was assaulted by her doctor, Claire reported him to the police. She was sexually assaulted by her doctor. And rather than go to prison for his crime, he unlives himself. And the shock of the accusation and unliving himself causes the doctor's pregnant wife to have a miscarriage. So driven mad by this, she goes after the person that was assaulted, because that's what a normal fucking person does, is blame the accuser and go after them. And she sets up traps. She gets Solomon in trouble. She puts the little girl's underwear in Solomon's toolbox, so it looks like he was doing naughty things. And it's just a heartbreaking movie all around. It's a very tragic movie. And I want to know what this movie is classified as. Horror mystery. So, we're in the chat right now, and we didn't do the chat. Damn, I went way too far on this one.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a quick shot. Damn it, I'm sorry. I have ruined it.
You ruined it.
Yes, it is a horror movie. No, it is not a horror movie. Okay, one last quick shot, and then we're going to get to our last movie. Whether you agree, again, that this is horror or not, this is one of those movies that has one of the best casts and most underrated casts when it comes to mainstream film, I think, of any movie ever.
I think this one's hard to explain, but
It is hard to explain, and not enough
Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko. not enough people talk about this movie outside of its core audience. This is a cult film that not enough people talk about. What do you say?
I don't know. It's like a mystery. I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily horror. There's a lot of like creepy imagery, but horror, I'm gonna say no.
No. Okay. Ashley said no to that. So I do want to say this real quick. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear this.
Okay. Anyone else have an opinion I don't give a fuck about?
No.
Oh, did
What
it?
that just said was, does anybody else have an opinion I don't give a fuck about? Because,
All right.
yes, Donnie Darko is 100% a horror movie to me. Audience, is Donnie Darko a horror movie? Yes. Is Donnie Darko not a horror movie? Okay, there are some people who have opinions I don't give a fuck about.
That's cool, Ken.
All right, now we're going to do our last one with an actual poll, and then we do have some movies we want to premiere today. Want to have a great time with all of you that are out here at Ghoulie-Con, all the people that showed up to the chat. Thank you so much. And as you guys know in the chat, usually we go through and we read every single thing that the chat says. Mm-hmm. We feel like you guys have taken your time out to come and talk to us. You don't need to super chat. You don't need to do all that, but we're going to talk to you. Today we can't do that because we are on time constraints, but chat, we love you. Thank you for being a part of this with us. This is so fun and so amazing, and we genuinely love every single one of you that come out to do this. Mm-hmm. The last movie we're going to talk about.
What Lies Beneath?
What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford. This movie... Let's see.
Okay, I just want to talk about the scene where she is like spying on her neighbor, and then she loses track of him, and then he is watching her. That scares the shit out of me. I don't like that. Like, it gets me every time. Mm-hmm.
So, it had been years since Dr. Norman Spencer betrayed his wife Claire, but Claire, oblivious to the truth, Norman's life and marriage seems so perfect when Claire tells him, this is the worst synopsis. This gives away fucking everything. I'm done reading that. So bad things happen and you don't know why. There's your synopsis.
Wow, that's a great
Has anybody
synopsis.
here not seen What Lies Beneath? If you have not seen What Lies Beneath, let me hear it. One. Okay, Terry. I'm glad I didn't read the rest because, bro, you got to watch this movie.
Yeah, you definitely do.
To me, yes. What Lies Beneath is 100% a horror movie. Robert Zemeckis did this movie, and those that don't know, Robert Zemeckis also created my favorite movie of all time, Back to the Future. And he has said himself that this was his Psycho. And when you buy whether it's the DVD, the VHS, the poster, it literally says, what lies beneath does for baths, what Psycho does for showers. And this movie, the bath scene, is one of the greatest jump scares of all time.
Or when they're in the actual lake and like she goes after him.
Yes.
Like,
So,
get in.
It was so
Shit.
hard for me watching this movie as a kid because I was like, Han Solo,
I know. Like, he
No.
sucks. He's a bad guy.
Dr. Jones, why? Have you guys seen Scary Movie 2? You know the scene where he leans down and he's like, your wife, and he's eating the banana and he's got the red dress on? That is directly ripped off from this movie. That's what this movie is spoofing. And I think that not only is this a horror movie, I think this could be one of the most underrated horror movies. I agree. Ashley and I have a segment on Sledgehammer Horror, if you've never watched it. It's called Didn't See That Coming. And it's Ashley's brainchild. And she, what we do is we talk about movies that have twist endings and how they affect us and what they mean to us. And this is in my top 3 of episodes of Didn't See That Coming. The way that Ashley does her deep dives into Didn't See That Coming and comes up with behind the scenes stuff and ending stuff. At the end of this movie, you can see a face. And I never knew that. And Ashley, in doing her research and watching behind the scenes and stuff, pointed the face out to me. And I was like, there's no fucking way I've missed this my whole life. And that's an episode I would strongly recommend you guys watch after you subscribe and like and comment and do all the other stuff. But the amount of this, Sinister, and Tucker and Dale versus Evil are my 3 favorite episodes that Didn't See That Coming. But the chat is a 62% yes, that yes, this is a horror movie. What about you guys? Is What Lies Beneath a horror movie? Yes. Is What Lies Beneath not a horror movie? Oh, Chloe, you son of a gun. My daughter's out here that every single time I say something, she's just like... So movies we had to cut off of this, real quick, Jurassic Park. Do you guys think Jurassic Park's a horror movie? Yes? Is Jurassic Park not a horror movie? Summon the guns. And then the last one, The Terminator. Is The Terminator a horror movie? Yes. Is The Terminator not a horror movie? No. I am so goddamn mad right now. Not only is
It's
The Terminator
a
a horror movie, it's a slasher.
Totally a
It is a slasher movie. He goes through the phone book to kill every Sarah
He's very
Connor.
passionate about this.
I will fight. If you guys want to meet on the hill outside, this is the hill I will
Maybe
die
outside.
on.
How about that?
Yeah, the Terminator is a slasher. He hides his identity behind a mask. Like I said, he goes through the phone book to kill it. Oh, well, slashers don't use guns. Excuse me, watch the first Scream movie. Plenty of gun in that movie, y'all. So, just want to say, yes, it's a slasher. Thank you, everybody here
Yes,
live.
thank you.
We love you all. Thank you so much. Everybody that joined us on the chat, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Those links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror,
Stay who you are.
and we'll see you guys soon.